Welcome to Always Moving Forward with Renee.
Moving forward.
Hello. This is the day that the Lord has made. Be glad and rejoice in it. This is part two with none other than our friend Cedric Robinson. Cedric has been practicing insurance, wealth building, and retirement planning strategies for over 40 years. So take a minute, run and get some paper and pen, because we don't want you to miss anything. Am I right, ladies?
That's right.
Am I right, my friends?
Yes.
Okay, as you know, this is Always Moving Forward. I'm Renee. This is Noni. We have Jackie on the end. Then we have Lenore. But Cedric, we're just going to dive right into this because we have so many questions we want to ask you. And you know what? It surprises me how many people don't spend enough time thinking about their legacy, getting prepared. You know, matter of fact, when I was coming up at a younger age, a lot of what Cedric told us in part one, I didn't take advantage of.
That's right.
I didn't take advantage of. Now I'm at the age where I can't take advantage of it. So we want you to tell your young people,
Yes.
those of you who are starting out, but you know I can talk forever, but I know we got some questions and we want to get into this. Who has the first question here? Lenore?
So do you find that there are different financial approaches that need to be taken depending on age or gender?
Yes, it's certainly because the one thing that you have to consider in financial planning or wealth building, and that factor is time. So a younger person has more time to invest money, take risks than an older person. So yeah, we have to monitor the age of the person. And we have it broken down. We have the Generation Z people, and these are the people that was born after 2002. And then we have the Generation Y people, and these are the people born between 1992 and 2002. And the Generation X people is born 1965 to 82, and the boomers. And that's what most of you all are, boomers. People born in 1946 and 1941, and then I'm one of the silent people. People born in 1935 to 1945.
Okay.
Now, with each one of those groups, we have to monitor those. And basically, the first thing we want to do is find out what is it that they want to do. You know, everybody don't want to do the same thing. So we have a series of 30 questions that we ask, what is it that you want to do? What are you trying to achieve? And then we kind of work from there. All right. And the one of the first things that we have is that a person needs to have a second opinion on the policies, investments that they currently have. And because we're finding that things change in your life. What you got 10 years ago may not be applicable to right now. So you gotta. They always say people spend more time planning a vacation than they do their future, and that's true. The other thing that I want to say with that is that we have to evaluate the risk tolerance. Some people are a little bit more risk conscious than other people, so that's why we have to look at the different ages, the different groups, find out what you want to do, and then select a format that meets with what they're trying to do. I'm just give you this example. A client comes to me and they don't have a pension, and they are like 55 years old. They don't have very much money, and then we know that they're going to get Social Security, so we find out that, And now there's a gap in what money they have. They need to have an extra $2,000 a month. Well, at 50, they don't have the money to do that. So how do we do that? Well, they have to look at alternative investments. As an example, I took one client, and I took the little money she had, and we bought her 2 houses.
Okay.
And she gets $800 from each one of those houses in rent.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of balanced her area that she didn't have the income. So you have to look at different things like that. Sometimes people say, well, let's take the money, invest it in the stock market, and go crazy. If I lose it, I lose it. If I gain, I gain it. Well, those are the people that say they're not risk conscious. They just say, well, let it fly, you know. So I have a partner that does that. I don't do any stock investments. Okay.
Okay.
Cedric, let's talk more specifics, some specifics. What are the elements of a strong financial plan?
Well, as we have talked before, and I think that when I was talking about that flip, you gotta have a program that has to do with a method for saving, a purpose for saving. It's tax efficient. It keeps up with inflation. It has the opportunity for liquidity in it. And then you have to look at some of the other things to monitor the risk. What if I can't work? So you have to take advantage of that. When we put together, and I hate to keep going back, but this flip plan is the only plan that a person will ever need, because one of the things I didn't mention, if you're saving monies in that flip plan and you become disabled, the insurance company will save it for you. So just like you would have had the money at age 65, you still will have it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you.
Let's talk about how critical is life insurance as a tool for building wealth?
Well, as you know, just recently, a study was done out of Boston College up there. They did a survey, and surprisingly, they found that blacks have more life insurance than whites.
Wow.
And that was kind of, and they indicated that life insurance is that element because blacks die quicker, earlier than the whites. The average, you take 100 black people, and that's like 60 years old, and then 12% of them will die before they get to be 65, as opposed to only 2% for the whites. So we have to have life insurance. The other thing is, with life insurance, it's kind of an expression of love, and blacks have gotten into it from the old days when they would go around and the parents, the grandparents, the policy weren't worth a whole lot, but the grandparents taught the children, and children taught the grandchildren. So now blacks, they will buy insurance, but then the problem, they buy the wrong type of insurance.
Okay.
And that's kind of where the problem is. They buy the term insurance, and there's nothing wrong with that, because term will cover you for a certain period of time. You buy a house, you got a 30-year mortgage, you buy a term. You got children going to school, and you want a policy so that if you die, then the children will have money so they can finish college. But then what they fail to do is to convert that to a permanent plan, so that when the children are out of college and then they get to be 60 or 65, they need to have a policy that they can transfer wealth with, because it's the number one vehicle that allows you to transfer wealth. There's no other vehicle out there that you can transfer wealth, and creditors can't take it. People can't sue you for it. It's not included with any of the estate problems like taxes So it's just a clean transfer, and this is what you should leave for your children, life insurance. So that's one of the reasons that I find that life insurance is a strong part of your financial plan.
Thank you.
You know, it certainly is, and like Cedric said, you know, our grandparents, our parents, when we were growing up, you know, the insurance man would come by the house, knock on the door
Yes,
to
that's
collect that $2 or
Right,
that
right.
$3
Yes.
of the wrong insurance that they were getting.
Yes.
And then if something happened to the family, it's still not enough money to take care of anything, because no one was there. During that time, we didn't have Cedrics.
Right.
Or if Cedrics were around, it was few and far in between.
Right.
So we just followed, you know, what they did.
Right.
But you know what, Cedric, tell me a little bit about a living trust. What will that allow?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that after clients have started reading that article about Aretha Franklin.
Yes.
I've gotten 5 calls in one day about, Cedric, I need a will, I need a trust.
Mhm.
So let me see if I can paint this picture. A trust is a living person.
Okay.
And just think of a trust. If it's your trust, then even after you die, that trust still lives.
Mhm.
And you can transfer those assets to that trust. You got a house, you got money, and everything can be transferred into the trust. And it continues to live. You're the executor, you can specify what you want that trust to do. You can specify who you want to be the executor of that trust.
So your
after
wishes
you're gone.
will be carried out.
Your wishes can be
Okay.
carried out. What a will, and it keeps everything out of probate.
Okay.
You know, like if a person doesn't have a trust and they die and they have property and asset, we go downtown to the courthouse and we can pull up their name and then we can see everything that they have. That's probate.
That's probate.
You want to keep out, and then a judge assigns a lawyer to administer your probate, and then they take anywhere from 8 to 10% of whatever it is. You leave $100,000, and the lawyers be within the 6 months. They probably take about 8 or 9,000. But I'm not saying anything against them because they have work to do too.
Right.
But you can just avoid that.
Mhm.
All right. So that's the difference. And the other thing that you can do is, in addition to the trust, you can have what's called a family partnership, or you can have a living LLC, LLC, where you can put your assets into LLC. As an example, you got real estate property. You create an LLC. Somebody falls and dies in your property, then you don't have to, they can sue that LLC,
Okay.
and they'll probably win. But they don't sue you personally.
Okay.
Now, the reason the LLC is good, because they're going to win, but there's what they call a charging order. And then they'll win, but if you never take any money out of that LLC, if you did, they get it, but then they have to pay the income taxes on any growth in that LLC, even though you didn't take any money out. So normally, most people are reasonable mind, they say, well, listen, I'm going to just drop that claim, because I don't want to pay the income taxes on this, and I'm not getting any money out of it. All right, so that's the area there.
The LLC means what?
Limited Liability Corporation.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Good.
If I could take a moment,
Yes.
you know, right now, I did a presentation for when the city was having that problem, and I went down there, and they had they were clawing back their retirement, and so I went down there and I did a thing where I was calling Rescue the Pension Plan. And in that, I was just showing them how ways that even though the city took their money, how they could increase the amount of assets that they had using the little bit that they did have left. so if they wanted to leave it to their family. And then I started thinking, there's that movie, The Perfect Storm. Yeah, I don't know if y'all saw it, where they were out in a boat and everybody perished in that boat, although he was a great captain, So what I found out right now is that we have 12 factors right now that's creating this perfect storm for all of us. Mm-hmm. And one of those factors is people are getting low interest. Right now, interest in their banks, 1.5%. 0.5%. Money loses purchase power due to inflation. Inflation is 3, you're making 0.5%, so inflation is 6 times more than what you're making. Mm-hmm. So this is how people are losing wealth. College costs are going up. Pension plans are being eliminated. Everybody's going to 401k. And then it's no longer will we have these guaranteed pension plans like some of the baby boomers have now. Their children won't have that. Mm-hmm. Then they have excess taxation in retirement. There are baby boomers like you guys that will inherit millions of dollars from their parents. Mm-hmm. So somebody has to navigate the taxes that will be lost in there, and then seniors are living longer. They're draining on Social Security. Mm-hmm. There's Medicare that problems that they have. I know just me and my wife, we spend over $10,000 a year on Medicare health insurance, but we can deduct ours because we have a business. So I try to get seniors, get you a little business so you can get some tax deductions. Decumulation strategies. When people keep monies in these 401ks and then they have to take the monies out. Last year, one of the clients, the account lost 10%. She had to take out 4% for RMDs. So when you take it out, that money is never there to go back up when the market goes up. It's lost forever. So there's a difference in that. I have a chart that I'll send in that will show decumulation and how one person decumulated their money, another one decumulated their money. One of them ended up getting $2 million, another one ended up going broke. Health insurance, long-term care. There's some saying that the government wants to take over these 401k plans. They put a legislation in the House to try to do that, but instead they went and borrowed $2.9 trillion from the Social Security bank to help. But think of this, there's $20 trillion in the pension plans. The government owns $20 trillion. Wow. If they took the pension plans, they could balance the books.
Yes.
Okay. And so there's training, there's education for Medicare and Social Security training. Everybody should do an analysis. It's called Social Security timing. You should get your Social Security report so you can see what's the best time and age for you to retire, especially if you're married. Yes. There's over 500 and some strategies that's calculation that Social Security Administration can make. They're not permitted to advise you. So that's against the regulation, the law. You have to get your advisors to do that.
Right.
Okay.
What advice would you give someone pursuing a career as an advisor?
Well, as I stated just a few minutes ago, people need help.
Yes, they do.
And there's all kind of regulations and things, and people just can't manage and navigate all of these laws. They're changing them every day. For an example, did you know that just last week they passed a regulation that allows companies to help these kids that's working there pay off their college loan? Now, the way it works, if the person pays 2% into their college to pay off their college loan, their company will put in their 401k 5%. But they won't put the 5% unless they pay the 2% to pay off the college debt. Now, 2 or 3 large companies, they have already adopted this. There was a letter ruling from the IRS that allows this. A lot of people don't even know about it. And then to do this, a lot of companies, they would have to just change their plan administration in order for their employees to do that. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but there's a great loss in college loans. Our children, the parents didn't have the money to send them to school. They couldn't pay it, so what did? They got a loan. Now they're going to spend the rest of their life paying off the loan. Now, we have created a way to do that if they could take advantage of this flip, because I'll use one example of a lady. She owed $125,000 in college loans. I indicated to her, why don't you save some money here for, she told me she could save $3,000 a month because she got a good job. I said, let's take the $3,000 a month and put it in a flip plan, and then in 4 years, you would have enough money there to take $135,000 out and pay off your student loan. But remember, when she takes it out of the flip plan, it's not her money. It's the money that she borrowed from the insurance company. Her money that's in that flip plan is continually going up. All right. So, but to bottom line, she ends up, if she had done that, she ends up with $500,000 in her flip plan after she took out the $130,000 to pay off the college loan.
Right.
She didn't give her money away. She used the money of the insurance company, and her money continued to grow. All right.
But Noni, you got a question?
Yes, my question is, Cedric, baby boomers who are maybe 70 and older, is it too late for them to start taking advantage of some of these opportunities for?
Well, the baby boomers are right in the streamline of being able to do something because they have 401ks and IRAs. Now, the government says you must start taking monies out of those. So now, what do they do with the money when they take it out of their 401ks, their IRAs? It's called required minimum distribution. What do they do with that money? Many of them take the money and go put it in the bank and get 0.5% on it, or less than that.
Okay.
We have a program that we can set up for these baby boomers, a senior flip plan, where they can put the monies in there, and then if they should die, their family gets a lump sum tax-free, much greater than that. And then if they need long-term care at age 80, then this program will pay them $5,000 a month for 5 years for somebody to take care of them. And they can do that from the money that the government is requiring them to take out. We added to the company a Medicare division. And I don't really do a lot of that, but I have some experts that do Medicare. And I think she might be on your program in terms of Medicare. We let her handle all of the Medicare thing, because that's a big
She'll
problem.
be here next week.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think she told me she'll be here next week.
We back the next, because this is 2 weeks.
Watch her. Watch for her. She'll be here next week. Okay, let's go.
All right, so that's what the baby boomers can do. And then most of the baby boomers, if they take that money out in a lump sum, why not take it, if you don't do that, why not take it, you get $4,000, take it out, find one of those grandkids over there, and give them a single premium policy like I was mentioning. And then the next year, you take it out, find another grandkid and give that to them. So that $4,000 given to that one grandkid that's 10 years old will be worth $400,000 when they get to be 65.
Wow.
You know. Now you know the rule of 72. If you take 72, divide the interest of like 7. If you get 7.2, it tells you 10 years. Every 10 years, money will double. That's the rule of 72. And so you can just take 4,000 and see how many times it will double. You know, especially if you're making 8, 9, 10% on it.
Wow.
All right.
Well, you know what, Cedric? We've got to have you back, because I have so many more questions about estate planning, power of attorney, medical directives, and I'm quite sure my friends have other questions too. But before we go, I want you to leave the audience here with some final words. I know that there's things that they've got to take into consideration when they get these plans, such as life changes. You know, they get married, they have more kids. As Cedric said in part 1, you know, you're going to have to reevaluate these plans that you have. And he's the man, but before you leave those final words, give that telephone number right quick.
All right, it's 248-809-6226. Text me at 313-617-6071. And go to Google and Google Cedric the Entrepreneur.
Cedric the Entrepreneur. But everyone remember, Cedric's coming back.
Okay, great.
And we want you to remember, God loves you, and so do we. And always keep moving forward. I hope you enjoy Always Moving Forward with Renee.
Moving forward.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Vicki Winans, and you're watching Bell Global Network.
My name is Mike Duggan, and I'm watching the Bell Global Network.
Hey, keep it locked. It's your boy D. Hattie watching the Bell Global Network. You know how it is.
Hi, I'm Charlie Langton, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
Hi, this is Martha Reeves, and you're watching Bell Global Network.
Hi, everybody. I'm telling you, everything that happened to me that was good, God did it. I'm Evelyn Turrentine, AG, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
This is Pastor D. Alexander Bullock of Preachers of Detroit, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
This is Bishop Edgar Van of Second Ebenezer Church in Detroit, Michigan, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
Hi, I'm Bernadette Stanis. You know me best as Thelma from the TV show Good Times, and you are watching Bell Global Network.